Just as sunflowers chase the sun, inductees into the South Dakota Hall of Fame chase their dreams day after day, year after year. The 700-plus inductees in the Hall of Fame come from all backgrounds and corners of our state. What their stories have in common is their unwavering courage and belief in their dreams. These dream chasers are an inspiration for us all to strive for excellence and believe in our own potential to chase dreams well into the future.
2017 inductee Jeff Scherschligt is an expert in insurance and risk management. Under his leadership, he and the firm of Howalt and McDowell achieved a broad range of industry and community recognitions, including the Argus Leader Best in Business Inaugural Award. Jeff is a passionate advocate for public-private partnerships that make a difference for the environment, for citizens, for Sioux Falls, and for South Dakota. Jeff is continually inspired to make a difference. Jeff made a big impact on the city of Sioux Falls when he conceived and saw through the creation of the first gold LEED certified structure in the city.
Hello, I'm Miles Beacom with the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and today I have Jeff Scherschligt with us. And Jeff is an inductee into the South Dakota Hall of Fame in 2017. Jeff, thanks for joining us today. And the first thing I want to ask you is, could you share a little bit about your childhood and how you got into the business world and why you give back in the community and all those types of things? So if you could start with kind of your beginnings in Sioux Falls.
Born and bred Sioux Falls boy, 1955 was the year I was born. And obviously a lot of your upbringing and a lot of your things that really probably meld you your whole life was my dad was a big believer in the United Way. And there was one saying I would tell every kid that my dad gave me. He basically said is, for every dollar you make, you save 10 cents, you give away 5, and then you deal with the other 85 cents in your life. So that's been a philosophy that I think is pretty simple, but is very impactful, and I've tried to use that in my life, and I've tried to teach my kids and other people that same philosophy. And so, we all are in this together, and, you're only as good as your community to some degree. And so it's been fortunate that I've lived my whole life, except for a stint out at school for college in Sioux Falls and in South Dakota.
Well, that's a great rule. Save 10. Invest 5 in the community,
yep.
Give back,
yep.
And decide what you want to do with the other 85%.
Yep, so. Pretty simple. Sometimes we make things too complicated, but that's a simple one I can remember and I can pass along to people.
Yeah, great for both investing and giving back to the community. Jeff, I heard the story once when you went to college for the first time out in New York. You hadn't been there before. Could you just share that? Because that's a long ways from home in Sioux Falls.
Well, again, kids, it might be hard if we're talking to children out there or everybody, but it's kind of hard to believe. But at 18 years old, the first airplane ride I was going to do was to go off to college. Never been in an airplane before. My parents sent me off to New York City, downtown Manhattan. Didn't know a soul. Didn't know a friend, didn't know a relative. My parents didn't take me there or, coddle me and put me in the room. Basically, I took all my stuff, went on an airplane, landed in LaGuardia, and ended up in downtown Lower Manhattan. And I think sometimes, to a certain degree, we're almost too enabling today. And, we love our kids and we want to give them every opportunity. But it's those times where you stretch yourself, you take a risk, you do something that's outside of your comfort zone. That's how you really grow. And I think those were good examples, and it certainly helped me because it really did test me, but I think it made me a better and more well-rounded person to go through that.
Did you ever, when you came back from New York, did you ever think it'd be this size?
No. I just didn't have that sense, and I think it's a matter of, too, we lived a sheltered life to a certain degree, and as you get out and you see things, but I think we've been fortunate to be in this community, and the whole country is obviously growing to a degree, but we've been very fortunate, and but it's been fun. It's been challenging, but it's also been very rewarding to know that we can do it here in South Dakota.
Jeff, the other thing that's really amazing is your parents were very involved in the community. Yep. You and Katie are very involved in the community. Why? That takes a lot of time.
You know, I like I say, I was really given that charge and followed my dad's lead there. That was something that was very important to him. And it, you know, it just seemed like the right formula. You know, I mean, again, there was a culture in Sioux Falls and South Dakota, but Sioux Falls was a tremendous philanthropic culture that really built out of the generations before my father even, and moved down generation after generation. And that culture, I think, is, if you're going to become part of the Sioux Falls Club, if you want to call it, as a young, you know, up-and-comer and et cetera, I had the upbringing to want to give back and be involved in the community, but it also became kind of the rite of passage as part of this community's culture. And yet it's that personal relationship that gets the dynamic going, and then it really gets things moving.
If you raise your hand and need some help, there's 10 people that'll be there to help you, probably
Yes.
more. Jeff, if you had an opportunity to talk to the youth across the state, what would you say to them to encourage them to chase their dreams?
You know, if you work hard, you get a good education, you know, the upbringings that we have of the work ethic here and et cetera, can really carry to any place in the world when it comes down to it. And the opportunities, I mean, the one thing I feel so fortunate about is that, you know, kind of in my day, you went away to find the opportunity, but now South Dakota, Sioux Falls in particular, have the opportunities to keep those people here. We want to make a difference in our world, in our state, and you can do it right here in South Dakota.